Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. The news hit like a thunderclap, echoing through living rooms, offices, and social media feeds across the nation. It wasn't just another headline, it was a jolt that made people sit up and pay attention. Walmart, the world's largest retailer and a symbol of American consumer power, issued a sudden and unexpected profit warning. The announcement sent shockwaves not only through the business world, but also into the daily lives of millions of families who rely on Walmart for their everyday needs. This wasn't just a Wall Street memo for investors, it was a red alert for every American household. The message was clear: something fundamental was shifting in the economy, and no one was immune. For decades, Walmart has been the ultimate barometer of consumer health, a place where the pulse of the nation's spending habits can be felt in every aisle and checkout lane. When Walmart stumbles, it's not just a corporate hiccup, it signals a deep underlying problem that could ripple through every corner of the economy. The message was unmistakable. Customers were pulling back on everything but the bare necessities. Food, toiletries, and other essentials were all that filled their carts, as families tightened their belts and braced for tougher times. People weren't bargain hunting anymore, they were in survival mode. The sense of anxiety was palpable, and even the stock markets trembled at the implications. If a giant like Walmart was hurting, what did that mean for everyone else? Small businesses, local shops, and families across the country began to wonder if they could weather the storm. The official economic narrative of recovery and resilience was being shattered by the harsh reality on the ground. Struggling neighborhoods and empty shelves told a different story. Prices for basics were rising much faster than wages, leaving families with less and less for anything beyond the essentials. Every trip to the store became a painful exercise in budgeting and sacrifice. Walmart's warning was the canary in the coal mine, a clear sign that American consumers are running out of money, and fast. The stress and worry were written on every face in the store, and when that happens, when the backbone of the economy, the everyday consumer, starts to buckle, the entire nation feels the shock. The warning shot had been fired, and its echo would be felt far and wide. Walmart isn't just a store, it's an economic ecosystem, a vital part of the American retail landscape. It serves as a barometer for the health of the economy, reflecting the spending habits and financial well-being of millions. With over 1.6 million Americans on its payroll, Walmart is one of the largest employers in the country. Its influence extends beyond the aisles, impacting the livelihoods of countless families. When Walmart warns of lower profits, it's not just about shareholders, it's about jobs, hours, and local economies. The ripple effect can lead to reduced hours for employees and even closures of local businesses that rely on Walmart's foot traffic. Other major retailers like Target and Best Buy keep a close eye on Walmart's results. They know that when Walmart struggles, it often signals broader challenges in the retail sector. When Walmart signals trouble, the whole industry braces for impact. Retailers across the board prepare for potential downturns, adjusting their strategies to weather the storm. The shift away from higher-margin goods like electronics to essential groceries is a red flag for economic distress. It indicates that consumers are prioritizing necessities over discretionary spending. Walmart's real-time sales data reveals how quickly Americans are changing their spending habits. This data provides a snapshot of the economic pressures facing everyday consumers. Economists and policymakers pay close attention to these numbers because they are a direct message from the American people. The data helps shape economic policies and responses to emerging challenges. The buffer of pandemic savings is gone, leaving many families vulnerable. The financial cushion that once provided security has been depleted. Inflation and stagnant wages are squeezing everyone, making it harder for families to make ends meet. Rising prices at the pump and in stores add to the financial strain. Walmart's troubles are a symptom of a deeper economic illness: rising costs, insufficient income, and growing anxiety. These issues are not isolated to Walmart but are felt across the nation. The foundation of our consumer-driven economy is showing cracks. The challenges faced by retailers highlight vulnerabilities in the broader economic system. This isn't just about one company, it's a warning for the nation. The struggles of Walmart and other retailers serve as a wake-up call for the economic challenges ahead. The message is clear: the pressure is now unbearable for millions. Families are feeling the pinch, and the need for economic solutions has never been more urgent. At the heart of Walmart's troubles is relentless inflation. Prices have been rising steadily, and it's not just a temporary spike. This is a persistent, everyday reality that's reshaping how millions of Americans live and shop. Families have watched prices for essentials, milk, bread, eggs, climb rapidly, eating away at budgets. What used to be a routine grocery trip now feels like a careful balancing act, with every item scrutinized and every dollar stretched to its limit. Gas prices have turned daily routines into financial stress tests. Filling up the tank, once a minor errand, now means recalculating the week's expenses, sometimes forcing families to cut back elsewhere just to keep cars running. Meanwhile, wage growth hasn't kept up. For most, any raise is wiped out by higher costs. Even those who've seen a bump in their paychecks find that it barely covers the basics, leaving little room for anything extra. Many Americans are effectively earning less than a year ago. The numbers on their pay stubs might look the same, but what those dollars can actually buy has shrunk, making it harder to keep up with monthly bills. The result, families are working just as hard, sometimes even picking up extra shifts or side gigs, but still falling further behind. The effort is there, but the reward feels smaller with each passing month. That small monthly cushion for extras or savings? Gone. The emergency fund, the little treat, or the occasional night out, these are now luxuries many can no longer afford. Now, every dollar goes to basics. The lifestyle hasn't changed, just the cost of living. Families are forced to prioritize, often leaving shelves of once regular purchases untouched. The drop in spending on apparel and electronics isn't about lost interest, it's about tough choices. People still want new clothes or gadgets, but those wants are pushed aside by the need to put food on the table and keep the lights on. When it's food versus a new TV, the choice is clear. Essentials win every time, and the rest becomes a distant wish. Households are in financial siege, trimming every non-essential just to stay afloat. Coupon clipping, budgeting apps, and tough conversations have become the new normal for families trying to make ends meet. Walmart's sales figures reflect this new reality. The shift in spending patterns isn't just a statistic. It's a story playing out in homes across the country, as families adapt to a world where paychecks simply don't stretch as far as they used to. Walmart's profit warning set off a chain reaction across the retail industry. Soon, Target and Best Buy echoed the same message. Americans are buying only essentials. This isn't just a Walmart problem, it's a nationwide pullback. The slowdown ripples through suppliers, manufacturers, and logistics companies, cutting jobs and revenue far beyond the store aisles. Main Street feels it too. Small businesses without Walmart's resources are hit hardest. As foot traffic dwindles, local shops cut hours, lay off staff, or close for good. The result is a dangerous feedback loop. Lower profits lead to less investment in hiring, which means even less consumer spending. Fear and financial reality combine, dragging the economy down. The initial warning from Walmart becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of weakness. Every link in the chain feels the strain. The slowdown is everywhere, not just in the supercenters. Inflation isn't just hitting the poor, it's squeezing the middle class and even the upper middle class. Families who once felt secure are now rethinking vacations, home projects, and even kids' activities. The financial cushion they relied on is shrinking fast. Trade-offs are everywhere, postponing big purchases, keeping old cars, cutting back on extras. Even higher-end retailers are seeing customers become more price-sensitive. The demand for luxury goods and experiences is softening. When six-figure households start pulling back, it signals a broad erosion of confidence. The psychological impact is profound. Upward mobility feels out of reach. These families did everything right but now struggle to maintain their standard of living. Frustration and anxiety about the future are growing. If even the well-off feel vulnerable, the problem is systemic. The American dream is under threat. The squeeze is real, and it's everywhere. As paychecks fall short, Americans are turning to credit cards just to get by. Plastic is now the safety net for groceries, gas, and bills, not luxuries. Credit card debt has soared past $1 trillion, a record high. But this is a dangerous fix. Interest rates are sky high, trapping families in a cycle of debt. The more they borrow, the more they owe in interest, leaving even less for essentials. Delinquencies are rising. More people can't make even minimum payments. This is the first step toward default and financial ruin. The plastic safety net is tearing and families are drowning in debt. It's a warning sign. The economic pressures are now unsustainable. The debt time bomb is ticking for the whole economy. Credit card debt is just one part of a bigger problem, rising household debt everywhere. Americans are borrowing more for cars, homes, and daily expenses, often at higher interest rates. More income goes to debt payments, leaving less for everything else. This creates a fragile foundation, an economy built on sand. One unexpected expense or a rate hike can push families over the edge. As debt rises and inflation bites, families cut spending, businesses lose revenue, and jobs are at risk. The cycle feeds on itself. Less spending means more layoffs, which means even less spending. Today's triple threat, high inflation, rising debt, falling real wages, is eroding household stability fast. Consumer spending, the engine of the US economy, is weakening by the day. The risk to our economic future is growing. The most feared consequence of this slowdown is job loss. As sales and profits fall, companies cut costs, starting with hiring freezes and reduced hours. Overtime disappears, and part-time work replaces full-time jobs. These changes may not show up in unemployment stats right away, but they hit families hard. If the downturn deepens, layoffs follow, first in sensitive sectors like tech and finance, then everywhere. A wave of job losses would devastate families and the economy, triggering even more spending cuts and layoffs. Without steady paychecks, households can't pay debts, risking defaults and a financial crisis. Rising unemployment is the nightmare scenario, turning a tough economy into a full-blown crisis. That's why Walmart's warning is so alarming. Walmart's profit warning has become a national alarm about the state of the economy. Families are squeezed by inflation and stagnant wages, turning to record debt just to survive. The consumer-driven economy is faltering as Americans run out of money and confidence. The warning signs are clear and urgent. High inflation, rising debt, and a slowing economy are a dangerous mix. The buffers, savings, low rates, strong jobs are gone or fading. If these trends continue, a severe recession is likely. This is a call to action for leaders and policymakers. Address the root causes now. The future of American families and the nation's economic health hangs in the balance. The time to act is now.